Hello everyone! Miss Sohee in Paris isn't just a debut on an official calendar, it's a definitive aesthetic statement that breaks our usual habits. Sohee Park isn't here to blend into the background or simply tick a box. Right from the start, she imposes a style of couture that rejects half measures, telling a story of a true silhouette metamorphosis far removed from the timid, minimalist concepts we've seen a bit too much of lately. Picture the Hôtel Pozzo di Borgo, that grand, historic mansion once home to Karl Lagerfeld. The walls still carry a very distinct, classical 18th century elegance, but the show itself brought a highly contemporary contrast that woke the space up. Were we invited here for a simple fashion presentation, or rather settled into the heart of a modern opera? The atmosphere in the salons was remarkably dense, almost suspended, as if every single gown were waiting for its own spotlight to reveal its story. That's because Sohee Park doesn't just sketch pretty lines, she builds. For her, a garment becomes almost like armor, protecting as much as it exposes. For this collection, she dives deep into her South Korean roots, not to look for an easy or superficial folklore, but to transform ancestral techniques, like Najin Chilji, the traditional mother-of-pearl inlay, into graphic, daring textures. It's an ambitious approach, taking artisanal savoir-faire loaded with history and projecting it directly onto today's red carpets, where the image needs to work immediately. On the runway, the models step forward with a royal, almost theatrical confidence. The posture is straight, proud, entirely dictated by the cut of the garment itself. The recurring element that signs this look and structures the whole attitude of the collection is that geometric work framing the bust, strong lines and imposing fan-shaped panels that force the body to hold itself a certain way, commanding a real presence with every step. And technically, the work on proportions is particularly interesting to watch. How can such immense volume, like that massive lilac taffeta skirt trailing on the floor, maintain such grace and fluidity in motion without overwhelming the model? Everything seems to rest on a highly precise, almost invisible balance between the actual weight of the fabric and a rigorous internal structure. It feels like the entire construction is designed to free the body's movement while exalting it. The color palette is deep, chosen with the care of a master's painting. But it's the clash of textures above all that leaves a mark. The softness of a knotted pink satin answers the shimmering mother-of-pearl mimicking crocodile skin on a bodice. It's a permanent play of reflections under the chandeliers. You can feel that each fabric was selected for its organic texture and its ability to react to the slightest movement of the wearer. Amidst this highly sculptural rigor, we discover a silver petal-shaped hood. It's a more intimate, almost surprising detail that cleverly breaks up the highly solemn tone of the show. Within it lies a subtle play on anonymity and protection, a way of masking the face to better assert one's public presence and mystery. Admit it, it's quite clever to blend the aura of an historical empress with this very modern need to shield oneself from glances and trace one's own bubble, don't you think? Throughout the runway, the story progresses seamlessly. We start with clean, almost anatomical cuts, only to finish on pieces heavily laden with complex embroidery, peonies and wisterias that literally seem to bloom across the capes and shawls as the looks pass by. The pace gently accelerates until the finale, where the silhouette definitively asserts itself like a true living sculpture in the middle of the salon. So of course, faced with such a spectacle, the question arises, is this opulence in these giant proportions still wearable outside of a gala, an opening or a red carpet? That is the eternal boundary of haute couture, that fine line between stage costume and wearable reality. It's a total immersive show, but the question of practical use and the life of the garment after the runway remains entirely open. Yet, in just 5 years of business, Sohee Park is already showing the maturity of a major house. She proves she isn't just making a spectacle to create buzz on social media. She is establishing a solid signature, perfecting her finishes in the atelier, and exploring innovative new materials to feed her imagination. She has successfully made her Paris entry, placing a major milestone for the future of her brand. Tell me in the comments, this silver hood and this work on XXL volumes, is it the most interesting technical audacity of the season for you, or do you feel on the contrary that this gigantism strays too far from the reality and primary function of clothing? I can't wait to read your thoughts and discuss it with you. Thank you for sharing this analysis with me. For your next runway viewings, try to look closely at how a designer uses volume, not as a simple added decoration, but as an extension of the garment's actual structure and intent. I wish you an excellent viewing for the rest of the show. We'll meet again very soon for a new analysis.